The world knew a legend had been born the moment Brigitte Bardot's photographs appeared on the front of Elle in 1950. However, the general public never noticed something: the unvarnished, unadulterated private moments and the unspoken backstory. Bardot was viewed as a moral threat by society at the time, had more than 100 partners, and survived 4 suicide attempts motivated by her obsession with sexuality. She was a lady who had the courage to love, to live, and to defy society. You'll see unique photos and learn previously untold truths in this film. Items that could fundamentally alter your perception of this well-known sex symbol. One of the most well-known beauty icons of the 20th century, Brigitte Bardot, was born in Paris on September 28, 1934. She was raised in a wealthy family in Paris's 16th district, where everything appeared to be ideal. However, there weren't always good times in Brigitte's life. Her father, a severe man, insisted that she adhere to rigorous rules of etiquette in their opulent 7-room apartment, including how a young lady should dress and how to behave at the table. Brigitte had very few childhood friends since her mother was quite picky about who she could be friends with. Nevertheless, Brigitte will always remember the years she spent in Paris during the war, when Nazi Germany seized the city. Her mother thought that she was getting ready for a future ballet career because she spent much of her time indoors during that time, losing herself in dancing to music rather than playing with friends. At the Paris Conservatory, Brigitte took ballet seriously, but that didn't stop her from moving. She quickly gained recognition for her inherent beauty and exuberance, and at the age of 15, she made her debut on the cover of Elle, which opened a whole new avenue for her career in film. But Brigitte's journey into cinema wasn't simple. She was given the chance to try out for the film L'Île Laurier Sans Coupe, despite her parents' disapproval of her being an actor. Assistant director Roger Vadim saw Brigitte's inherent beauty when she was 16. He urged her to try out for a movie that was coming up. Initially, Vadim informed her that she was not selected for the part. However, what transpired next would alter everything. Rather than landing a movie deal, Brigitte fell deeply in love with Vadim. They had a scandalous but loving relationship. Vadim was a mature, seasoned, and endearing man, while Brigitte was just 16. He was both frightening and fascinating, and she compared him to a wild wolf. Brigitte's family was very against it, and her parents were incensed when they learned about the romance. In order to keep her away from Vadim, they threatened to send her to England. However, young love is difficult to quell. Brigitte, devastated by being separated from her beloved, descended into despair and even made an attempt to terminate her life by lighting a fire in the fireplace. However, her relatives found her before it was too late. Her parents eventually ceased resisting after realizing they could no longer manage their daughter's emotions, but only under one restriction. Only if Brigitte and Vadim got married when she reached 18 could their romance last. Thus, a new chapter in Brigitte's life began when they were married in 1952, turning her from a little girl into an adult who would go on to become one of the most alluring goddesses in movies. Only a few months after Brigitte became 18, the pair tied the knot. By putting her picture in magazines and newspapers, and using his connections to assist her get into the film business, Vadim made her a growing star in both fashion and film. She starred in a number of movies and immediately made an impact because of her inherent beauty, which didn't require graphic or provocative sequences. "I'm not an actress," she once declared. "I am only able to portray myself in real life and on TV." But the connection between Brigitte and Vadim didn't last. The passion and love in their marriage waned after a few years, particularly following incidents involving both parties' extramarital affairs. Brigitte played the lead in Vadim's first significant motion picture, God Created Woman, which he directed in 1956. Bans were formed in a number of US states as a result of the film's shocking and seductive images, which broke all boundaries. It was more than just a film for its day. Brigitte's rise to international prominence was sparked by a cultural shockwave. However, Brigitte fell in love with her co-star Jean-Louis Trenting while they were filming. The issue ultimately resulted in Brigitte and Vadim's divorce because their affair could not be concealed. Even yet, Vadim was scarcely shocked by her adultery. Brigitte continued to indulge in passionate romances after her first divorce, looking for solace in partnerships. Actors, artists, and prominent celebrities were among her many lovers. Her life became more complicated with each relationship. She freely acknowledged that she had dozens of sexual connections with people of both genders throughout that time. She became one of the most talked about celebrities of the time, praised for her sexuality and unrestrained way of living. Beyond her personal life, Brigitte represented independence and revolt in a culture still constrained by traditional values. Many were startled by how openly and honestly she welcomed sexual escapades. Her appearances on the covers of Playboy in 1958 and 1962
where she boldly displayed her nude beauty and established a new benchmark for sensuality and artistic freedom, are among her most memorable career moments. Nevertheless, none of these relationships offered her long-term happiness, despite all the passionate experiences. In 1959, Brigitte married actor Jacques Chérier for the second time. But particularly after Brigitte fell pregnant in 1960, this marriage also didn't endure long. Brigitte had an incredibly successful career and was a global icon, but she had no desire to have children. She acknowledged that she viewed pregnancy as a burden and that she wasn't ready to be a mother. She once revealed that she thought she was going to die, and even thought about taking her own life after giving birth. Brigitte was not happy when she gave birth to her only child, Nicolas Jacques, in 1960. She thought she was incapable of being a mother and had no idea how to love a child. After only 3 years, the second marriage ended, and Brigitte had to deal with difficult parenting once more. There was always tension and difficulty in her relationship with her son. His wedding did not invite her. In her story, Brigitte also openly described her unborn kid as a cancerous tumor when Nicolas reached adulthood. Nicolas, who was deeply offended, chose to sue his mother for emotional harm. After her second marriage failed and she had other brief relationships, Brigitte was eventually forced to provide a sizable settlement to her son and ex-husband. Brigitte was still looking for something she could never quite find, so she kept turning to new partnerships for solace. Brigitte Bardot didn't fall for any man, as we've witnessed. All of her long-term partners had similar characteristics. They were successful, well-known, and rich. Another turbulent romance started in 1966 when Brigitte met German businessman Gunter Sachs. I'm sure you can picture what it's like to meet someone you think is the one. Brigitte was among the few ladies who actually had that experience. It dawned on her that Sachs was just like her. He even had a Rolls-Royce that was identical to hers. She stated, "I thought he was wonderful," in her memoir. "I was hypnotized." Their love burst like fireworks one day after they first met. Sachs further stunned her by dropping 1,000 flowers from the sky from a helicopter over her home. Their relationship developed in the manner of a traditional Hollywood romance. The wedding in Las Vegas followed. Who could overlook the craziness of marriage in a city where glitz and mayhem are all but certain? They got married just 2 months after they first met. However, their union did not resemble a fantasy. Only a few days after coming home, Brigitte reverted to her previous behaviors. She started dating Mike Sarn, a British singer and actor who starred alongside her in a movie. Bardot's romantic life became even more chaotic as a result, yet she seemed unconcerned. Additionally, Brigitte had a very strong bond with Serge Gainsbourg, the well-known singer. Along the way, the two became quite close and recorded music together. The allure of gifted, charismatic guys was too much for Brigitte to resist. In addition to writing songs for her, Gainsbourg created 2 of his most famous songs, including Jim and Plus, which will always be associated with them both. Brigitte requested that the version with her voice never be made public, even though their recording caught private, breathy moments between the two. Later, Gainsbourg and his fiancée Jane Birkin re-recorded the song, and it quickly rose to the top of UK charts. During the 3 years of her passionate marriage to Gunter Sachs, Brigitte had numerous extramarital encounters. Their friendship persisted even after their divorce in 1969. Sachs once acknowledged that a year spent with Brigitte Bardot was more valuable than 10 years spent with another person. And given the sex kitten legend she had become, that is not shocking. Then, in 1992, Brigitte married wealthy businessman and political figure Bernard Dormel, marking the beginning of yet another chapter in her love life. Despite her history of tumultuous relationships, Brigitte's marriage to Bernard was surprisingly pleasant, and not at all what the public had anticipated. This partnership turned into a positive aspect of her life. Brigitte appeared to benefit from Bernard's stability and even the capacity to mend her tense relationship with her estranged son. Only close friends were present for their small private wedding, which took place just 1 month after they first met. Surprisingly, this marriage ended up being pleasant and long-lasting, winning praise from many. After being in the public eye for decades, Brigitte has now mostly distanced itself from the spotlight. Far from the spotlight of show business, she leads a tranquil existence in Saint Rope. She has changed from being a blazing sex symbol to a tranquil, contented woman who lives with her family and spouse. But even outside of Hollywood, Brigitte's admirers still like and appreciate her. Not only because she is beautiful, but also because of her community service and kindness. Brigitte Bardot's love life is still enthralling because to its intensity, wild relationships, and unusual marriages. However, she has progressively changed her legacy and become a symbol of compassion and animal conservation rather than being recognized solely for her scandal.